Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 299 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng tensed up within. He let Da Laaw rub his braids as Ye Wu said beside, I too felt that Bei Fa was boring today. Are you troubled? Da Laaw continued to rub his braids. I'm just not in a good mood, I don't wish to talk about it. Luo Feng said. Da Laaw looked at him affectionately, looks like Bei Fa is troubled. Think about it properly, anything you cannot solve you can talk to me, I will tell you. Luo Feng nodded, he could feel the strong bond shared between the group. This was a very powerful bond. The information was true, the Dokus are extremely vicious against intruders, but amongst themselves, they are very affectionate. Any person who kills a Doku would be chased down by all the others. Luo Feng thought. You two can play here. Da Laaw smiled, if you have any matters, come to the shrine to look for me. Okay teacher. Wu Wei said. Understood teacher. Luo Feng said. Da Laaw smiled and turned to leave. Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. The footage of when he killed the devil shell monkey earlier was terrifying. Da Laaw was cold and murderous, now however he was almost motherly. Luo Feng didn't know that when the universe evolved, it produced the special life-form Dokus at different times, and not simultaneously. Some were produced earlier or later than the others, and it had been over 300 million years since the last one was born. Da Laaw was one of the first 9 to be produced, trillions of years before Bei Fa and Wu Wei. Strength-wise he was also among the top 10, and it was his responsibility to mentor the weaker Dokus. Hence Bei Fa and Wu Wei all called him teacher. Luo Feng looked at the ice statues before him, of which the monkey was in one, and there was a Lei Quan race warrior too. There was even a human warrior. They were all frozen, and their souls long frozen to death. What an interesting monkey. Wu Wei carefully examined the monkey for a while. This is the first time I've seen it in real life, I've only seen it in the virtual world before. Virtual world? Luo Feng thought. The virtual skills were considered a very normal technology in the universe. A small area can be called a virtual world. Just like Earth back then, with the quantum computer they acquired from an ancient ship remains, they built the War God Shrine world. This was common technology, the hard part was expanding the area. A world that had an entire galaxy. One that had a star field, or a one whole territory of humanity, or the entire virtual universe. The larger the area, the harder it got. The Dokus have created a virtual world that covers the Ice Hellstar area. This is indeed easy. Acquiring many quantum computers from the generations of intruders should make this easy. Luo Feng understood. Bei Fa, let's head to the shrine to take a look. Wu Wei said. The techniques teacher created are very complex. I'm not going. Luo Feng said, I wish to walk alone. Wu Wei nodded, right, the techniques he made are suited for us, not you all. Luo Feng was stunned for a while before he realized she was referring to the green and purple Dokus. Then I'm going. Wu Wei happily skipped and vanished. My luck sure is good. Luo Feng relaxed. I wanted to find a way to move alone, I didn't expect to get the chance so easily. I'll head to where the black metal board is stored. He began to fly madly about the palace. Within the depths of the shrine, Da Laaw sat cross-legged on the ice floor, his formless god energy permeating throughout the entire palace. He smiled. Wu Wei's headed to the technique shrine, Bei Fa has gone to the 10,000 item shrine. Wu Wei sure is something, she knew that Bei Fa wasn't in a good mood, hence she didn't keep him company, instead she headed off to the technique shrine. Bei Fa isn't trained in our ways, it's okay, there are all sorts of items there from the other races, it'll help him cheer up. After which he closed his eyes and connected to the virtual world, chatting with other Dokus within. To the special life-form Dokus. Over the long periods of time, there were indeed many daring explorers that have come before. Even though 99% of them had been caught, there would still be lucky ones. This made it so that there would always be others that would come and try their luck. After they are killed, the many treasures and items they carry with them were mostly useless to the Dokus, normally they were all just used as decoration and toys. Da Laaw had placed all these toys within a shrine and called it the 10,000 items shrine. The black metal board was located here as well. Within the shrine, Luo Feng turned casually and arrived there. As the entire palace had been scanned in detail by the monkey before, he already had a clear idea of the construct of the place. Right now, it's just luck. He stepped in on the cold ground, his gaze fixed on a bunch of items before him. It was filled with everything: weapons, armors, special materials, etc. They were all placed randomly, and they weren't worth much, at least not to Luo Feng. Black metal board. Luo Feng waved his hand and moved the items to the side, looking at the black metal board buried below. The third metal board. He knew the moment he touched it that this was what he was looking for. Now it's up to luck, I have to leave the moment I take it. He thought. It'll take a while from the palace to get out of Ice Hell Star. Within this time, if Da Laaw discovers something off, then I'll be in trouble. However, she shouldn't be too wary of her own race, I have a chance. And from the looks of it, seeing how the board is placed here casually, it's obviously not valued. Luo Feng didn't hesitate anymore. He kept the board in his world ring and headed out. He flew within the palace, not too fast or too slow. As he headed out of the entrance of the palace, a voice resounded in his ears: "Bei Fa, you are returning? Not going to wait for Wu Ya?" "No, I wish to return." Even though he shook within, he still managed to say, "I'll come visit teacher again soon." "Go on," Da Laaw said affectionately. Luo Feng couldn't care about anything else, quickly flying out and heading out of the Ice Hell Star. Even though he could teleport, it wasn't something he dared to do, because the moment he teleported, he would be discovered. This was something the Virtual Universe Company's information had stated. Even though he was in a rush, he had to continue flying. Ice Hell Star's virtual world. Within a vast plaza, Da Laaw was sitting with 3 other dokas, drinking wine and shaking his head. "This child Bei Fa, I wonder what's wrong," when he came to me earlier. He seemed to be troubled and I felt like there was some change. Maybe his confession was rejected. Another doku laughed. At 1,000 dokas, even though they were unable to reproduce, the green dokas had always chased after the purple ones, living together. The green ones were more numerous, and the purple ones were less. Also, the purple dokas enjoyed living in solitude more, hence it was normal to face rejection. Da Laaw, you said Bei Fa visited you and was troubled? I just saw him with Bo Ya and they were laughing happily, playing some battle games. Laughing? Da Laow's expression changed. The dokas were pure, they wouldn't lie to each other. How could he have been troubled earlier and then gone to play battle games, laughing happily at the same time? Da Laaw, who was sitting cross-legged within the shrine, suddenly opened his eyes, his expression changed. A formless god energy swiftly spread outside, sweeping past Moshe Luo Feng, who had just flown out the pathway of the Ice Hell Star. His spirit energy easily scanned through his body, discovering that the fake Bei Fa had a life crystal within. It's not Bei Fa. Intruder. His eyes were instantly filled with murderous intent. Da Laaw instantly teleported and vanished from the shrine, appearing before Luo Feng. Teleportation, this was forbidden within Ice Hell Star. Even though there were powerful dokas that could do it, like Da Laaw, they normally didn't use it, relying on universe travel to visit their friends. Because, the quickest method used by intruders was teleporting. As long as the dokas didn't use it, the moment they discovered a teleportation space ripple, it would definitely be an intruder. Other than that, when chasing down an intruder, they could all use it. In all, discovering a teleportation space ripple meant intruders, or a major situation. Intruder. An intruder is here? Within the many Ice Hell Stars, about 10 powerful dokas felt the space ripple. And within the 2 biggest Ice Hell Stars, one with a diameter of 13,000 kilometers and another with 96,000 kilometers, the terrifying knights lived within them. The special life form knights, they were terrifying from birth. Intruder? There's an intruder? The 2 knights instantly felt it too. As long as I fly out of this Ice Hell Star and accelerate to light speed, I'll be able to escape. Luo Feng rushed out of the pathway and continued to fly. As he got close to the outer surface, a powerful air force similar to Earth's atmosphere rushed forward. He had to fly out to accelerate to light speed. Rumble. A powerful energy appeared in the air before him. It was the purple silhouette Da Laaw, filled with murderous intent, his eyes fixed on Luo Feng as he roared, "Intruder!" Luo Feng, who was flying out, saw the silhouette, his expression changed. Da Laaw was filled with rage within. She didn't expect an intruder to disguise himself as one of her clansmen. She even rubbed his braids. This enraged her further. No mercy. Rumble. She teleported to the air above Luo Feng, looking coldly at the fake Bei Fa. Without saying anything, she pointed a finger at him. Purple light instantly shot at Moshe Luo Feng. Luo Feng knew things weren't good. Shit, I've been discovered. Plan C. He immediately teleported. However, the purple light speed was incredibly fast. It shot through his body and a terrifying cold pierced his body, almost like it was freezing his consciousness. It couldn't be helped. The power of this beam was against the soul. However, it was completely useless against the Moshe body, which was immune to soul attacks. He vanished. What? She couldn't believe it. She had used her full strength to freeze the enemy's soul, yet he still escaped. She closed her eyes and sensed about, connecting with the space ripples. However, Luo Feng's teleport was too far away, exceeding her area. Da Laaw, don't make such a mistake again, leave it to me. A booming voice resounded within her mind. Leader, he stole a black metal board. I know, leave it to me. Yes, leader. She nodded, feeling unjust within. Yet she still didn't think that the thief could get away. As she teleported, the terrifying two knights had felt it. Even if she let the thief get away, with the two knights, any one of them could easily catch up to him. Moshe Luo Feng appeared in the space far away before vanishing again. He appeared in the air above a continent before vanishing again. Madly teleporting about, every time over 1 light year away, as he didn't care about the dangers, and was simply fleeing as fast as he could. In the air above a continent, a powerful green silhouette stood in space, his eyes smiling. This punk sure is fast. However, he only knows how to teleport. Compared to grasping the entire space laws, it's an entire different level. How can he escape? He began to sense the ripples all about, easily finding a spot where there were teleporting ripples. There. He flashed and began to hunt. Once one comprehended teleportation, whether it was a sector lord or emperor, the distance would all be about the same. It was a reflection of the comprehension of the space laws. Communing with the space ripples and teleporting via the ripples to a far-away location. Comprehending teleportation would allow one to usually sense up to 1 light year away in a particular direction. However, sensing in all directions, that was much more taxing. And the distance wouldn't even be 1% of working in one direction. Hence, as Luo Feng fled, Da Laaw had no way to guess where he teleported to. The knights, however, were different. Once one fully comprehends the space laws, the knights' teleportation was much more powerful. They could easily teleport over 1,000 light years. Even sensing in all directions, they could cover over 10 light years in area. Luckily, Luo Feng teleported constantly, changing his direction over and over. It would take the knight quite some effort to catch him. Moshe Luo Feng appeared above a mountain range, his hands and feet landing. He once again vanished. A green silhouette appeared right after before vanishing again. One was fleeing while the other one chased. This punk is really not stopping. The green silhouette chased for 10 seconds before he got impatient. As they teleported 10 times per second, and he had originally wanted to easily capture this intruder. It was much harder now. He could only teleport after he detected where Luo Feng was. The moment he confirmed, he teleported, however that time alone was enough for Luo Feng to get away. I'll have to use some energy. He stood in space, surrounded by little black mountains. There were many ship remains amongst the mountains. This was one of the dangerous regions in the Black Flower region. Of course, to the knights, he couldn't be bothered. He unleashed his move. Rumble. A blinding green light shot out from his body. He instantly became a star, shooting lights in all directions. He gave off such powerful energy to disturb the space ripples about. With a knight's strength, he could control the entire space laws, allowing him to easily seal and disrupt space ripples. Just affecting the ripples was easy enough, but it had to be within a fixed area. He had burnt some of his undying energy, and his strength had soared to an unbelievable level. Almost like plucking a string, rippling throughout. The knight had used his full strength to disrupt the space ripples around, spreading over 10 light years. A light year was a huge area. In a normal fight, knights had no way to affect 1 light year in area. Even if it was simply affecting the space ripples, they still had to burn some undying energy to affect over 10 light years. Amidst the mist, Moshe Luo Feng was about to teleport when he turned and sighed. He clearly felt the space ripples affected, with broken lines all over. Even though they would recover quickly, for now, he couldn't teleport. Rumble. A powerful pressure extended over, covering the space. The area around naturally had its space locked down too. The powerful seal made Luo Feng immobile, almost like a full binding. Greetings, knight. Moshe Luo Feng shouted. Return to your original form, I don't like killing my own clansmen. The voice boomed as the green silhouette appeared before him. He was about the same height as the other Dokus, but his pressure was much stronger. The willpower and strength he gave off shocked even Luo Feng. Since you want to kill me, why order me to do something? Luo Feng looked at the knight before him. The Green Knight looked at him. You sure got some guts? As a Mosha clansman, you aren't afraid of soul control. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. The Mosha clansman didn't have a soul, naturally it couldn't be controlled. This was the difference in life forms itself. Luo Feng had checked up on this long ago, he was clear on this. Speak, Mosha genius. The knight looked at him. A sector lord and yet you can teleport. Even amongst the Mosha, you are definitely an absolute genius, but you came to us. What I'm curious about is, from the way you kept teleporting, you knew well you couldn't escape, yet you still did something so useless, forcing me to burn 0.1% of my undying body. You should know that doing so would only enrage me. Knowing there's no escape and enraging a knight, that's not wise at all. Yes? Mosha Luo Feng smiled, kill me and you'll know the reason. Don't tell me? The knight gave off murderous energy, revealing a look of rage. He waved his hand and with a rumble, a formless slap smashed the Mosha body, instantly reducing him to nothing. Even the normal world rings and devices etc. were all destroyed. Nothing. That black metal board, it's gone. The knight looked about. He had destroyed everything and even amongst the fragments, he didn't find anything. His expression changed. Within the entire Ice Hell Star, the other Dokus all didn't know the importance of the black metal board, however only he and the other Purple Knight knew. I've been played. He raged. He must have placed it somewhere else when he teleported. In another area of the Black Flower region, thousands of light years away from Ice Hell Star. A living ship was floating. Within. Luo Feng stood in the control room, wielding the stone in his hand, smiling, I've got it. To get this 9-volume manual, he had come up with many plans, just the Mosha plan alone had 6 side plans. Enough to deal with all sorts of predicaments. This plan C had taken in consideration the knight's not being willing to burn his undying energy. According to this plan, if the Mosha body were to be discovered, immediately take the board and teleport away. After that, teleport over and over. The process had to be fast. 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 No hesitation. Teleporting over and over, even if the knight wanted to kill him, he wouldn't bear to burn his undying energy immediately. Only when he got impatient would he do so. However, in truth, within the mountain range from before, Luo Feng had arranged for a slave to be in a world ring there, hiding within. When the Mosha teleported there and landed on the mountain, he would place a stone-like world ring there and teleport away. The Green Knight would keep chasing, not knowing that the slave had taken the ring away and gone through universe travel. After 10 seconds in the dark universe, they would have already reached a far enough place. I've got the item, time to leave. I lost an official devil shell monkey and the Mosha body this time. However, it would just take some energy to reproduce him. Luo Feng wielded the stone and smiled. Suddenly, a cold energy engulfed the area. Luo Feng's expression changed, turning. A beautiful purple-robed demon stood behind him. Luo Feng was stunned, he knew just who this was. It was the other knight of Ice Hell Star, the Purple Doku Knight. Purple Doku Knight? Luo Feng hated the fact that his plans still fell short. Now he was in trouble. He bowed slightly to express respect. Greetings, Purple Doku Knight. Little punk, you sure are impressive. The knight looked at him and smiled elusive. You actually managed to swindle the other knight and make him waste his time. No matter, I still couldn't escape from you. Luo Feng shook his head, after which he turned curiously to him. I wonder if you could explain to me how you managed to find me even after I got free from the Green Knight? The Purple Knight looked curiously at him. She didn't expect the mastermind behind the stealing of the useless black metal board to actually chat with her so casually. It was almost like he was speaking to his elder. Wasn't he worried at all? Worried that he would be killed? Wasn't he worried that he would be made a soul slave? Purple Knight. Luo Feng was being stared down. Aren't you afraid I'd kill you, that I'll enslave you? The knight asked. At this point, I have no way to resist, what's the use? Luo Feng said. Interesting. The Purple Knight smiled, you little punk, you sent the Mosha to steal, and he stole nothing but the useless special metal board. Even though it's special, it's still useless. Da Laaw Shah had the ice hell stone. It's interesting you didn't go for that instead. My underling was useless. His perspectives were too low and he knew too little about the treasures of the universe. When he saw the black metal board, he thought it was special and thought it was a treasure, hence he took it. Luo Feng shook his head. But he knew too, the stone would be guarded well, he'd have no chance of stealing it. He is smart. If he went to steal the ice hell stone, Da Laaw Shah would immediately suspect he was the fake Fa. The knight nodded. I chanced upon this metal board back then, however after studying it for a while, I didn't find any use for it. Hence I took it as a toy and passed it around. It finally ended up with Da Laaw Shah. Luo Feng was stunned. Toy? Indeed, the 9-volume manual within the metal board was limited by the universe laws. Only one person could use it. To others, it was completely useless. The two knights probably didn't recognize its importance and took it as a toy. I wonder if the knight can release me. I'm willing to pay for my actions. Luo Feng bowed. This wasn't something he thought on the fly, but rather from the information he gathered from the virtual universe company. The two knights liked to collect treasures. Some intruders that had been caught had used treasures to exchange for their lives before. Release you? The purple knight looked curiously at Luo Feng. Seems right, that black metal board is but a toy. I'll sell it to you, but the cost won't be small. Please speak. Luo Feng was gleeful within. There were pros and cons to the deal, but he didn't expect to get lucky enough to get to keep the metal board. Seeing your moves, your background must not be ordinary, the cost would naturally. Her expression suddenly changed. She glanced at him and said seriously, Punk, you actually forced Green Knight to burn part of his undying body and you've completely enraged him. It looks like I cannot let you go. Luo Feng's expression changed. He naturally knew that the Mosha had completely enraged the Green Knight. Come with me. The Purple Knight didn't say any more. A formless space ripple spread throughout. There were 3 consecutive teleports, and each of them over 1,000 light years. When Luo Feng's sight finally regained stability, they had already reached an incredibly cold planet. He looked around. This vast ice planet had many ice hell stars in the sky. This is on an ice hell star, and it's an extremely huge one. It's where either of the knights live. Luo Feng thought. Where's my ship? He was originally in the ship, yet now it was gone. Looks like they took my living ship away. Rumble. A powerful energy appeared in the air and stared down at Luo Feng. It was the Green Knight. Ha ha, you sure got humiliated. Purple Knight laughed. This human. The Green Knight landed and stared at him. You sent the Mosha? Where's his main body? He actually sacrificed himself so easily, that must not be its main body. Green Knight, the Mosha's real body is my friend. Luo Feng said respectfully, I specially got his help this time and I already owe him a favor. How can I rat him out? The Purple Knight spoke beside, stupid if you just say a special person, like if this friend was the disciple of the huge axe founder, or the disciple of the primal chaos city leader, anyway, any disciple of the super warriors of humanity. I wonder if he dare go take revenge. The Purple Knight mocked. HMPH. The Green Knight stared at Luo Feng. Despicable. If I can just kill you like that, it would be too easy. Suddenly, in the distant space, ripples occurred. 10 silhouettes had come through universe travel over. Some were green while others were purple. They all landed down. And the numbers kept growing, more ripples kept appearing about. This is the one that acted as me? Bei Fa stared at Luo Feng. The one that did has already been killed. This is the mastermind. The Green Knight said. Leader is so powerful, killing that imposter and catching the mastermind. Bei Fa said excitedly. Beside him the group of sector lords all stared at Luo Feng like he was some rare goods. The group of Dokus were all close and affectionate. Their treatment of the knights weren't how sector lords usually treated knights, with fear and respect. However, it was almost like respect for their grandfather. Leader, you killed that intruder. He even held my hand. Wu Yue seemed unhappy. That was an imposter. Bei Fa shouted, I'm the real Bei Fa. I know. Wu Yue said. The 100 Dokus all cheered. Da Laaw Shah stared at Luo Feng, his eyes filled with murderous intent. It was obvious he was still angry from being deceived earlier. Two leaders, I wonder how you will deal with this human. Da Laaw Shah asked. Immediately the rest of the Dokus all turned to the two leaders. The Green Knight looked at the Purple Knight beside. The Purple Knight laughed. You seem enraged, you decide. The Green Knight stared at him. We have to slowly destroy him. Da Laaw shot, you will personally bind him, send him to the ice hell. Yes? Ice hell? This intruder sure is unlucky. The ice hell is about to be opened again. The other sector lord Dokus all cheered. Luo Feng's expression was ugly. He thought within, ice hell? It's just as I thought. As long as they don't kill me, they definitely lock me in the ice hell. There's still a chance. I don't have to get the city leader's help yet. Why was this region called Ice Hell Star? The ice-cold planets, why not simply call them ice stars, instead, Ice Hell Stars? Why the word hell? It was because of a legendary place within the area, that was Ice Hell. According to the information he had gathered, Ice Hell was a powerful special weapon similar to the sealed stars. It could lock up many warriors within. One of the two knights was in control of the weapon. Go? Da Laaw shot and the others stared at him. Luo Feng didn't resist. He allowed himself to be chained. What a joke. Da Laaw shot and the other two Undyings were the top 10 warriors of the Dokus. Their god bodies were all 10 million times stronger than a sector lord's. With body and spirit energy amplification and etc., these three were all as strong as true yang. These were special life forms. Their basic genetics were much higher than humans, plus these three were the most exceptional of the Undyings. Naturally they were extremely powerful. Before, the Mosha had escaped because soul attacks were useless against it, and with its teleportation, even true yang wouldn't have been able to chase him. It had to be a knight with a full grasp of the space laws, only such a warrior could have caught him. Within the dark universe, a ship was flying slowly. Within the control room stood Chen Chen. Within his world ring, Howl. The golden horned beast's huge body was lying there. Its internal world was producing another Mosha body. Black-cloaked Luo Feng appeared beside Master Fu Shui, and the others bowed respectfully. Luckily I left a back door, he said softly. I knew the great being's mission wouldn't be that simple, hence my main core had to absolutely stay safe. After all, the moment I fall, even if the primal Chaos City leader reversed time and space to revive me, I wouldn't be able to have the Star Tower and other treasures. I'd also lose the 9-volume manual. Of all the plans, there was one simple prerequisite: the main core had to be safe. Hence, when the Mosha body was in action, the Earth body had separated from the beast's body. The beast carried the main core and Chen Chen and the others, flying in the dark universe. No matter how my plans fail, at least the main core will be safe. The Earth body has the Tower Pearl guarding the soul, hence he cannot be soul-controlled. If a powerful attack hits, to protect the many treasures on the Earth body, I'll get the help of Teacher. Black Cloth Luo Feng thought, there's no need at the moment, the two of them haven't discovered my true treasures, they are simply locking me in the ice hell. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.